forward. Come forward, people. Receive. Alright, I promise I won't do that ever again. Alright, so the first speaker, the first reader in the second stanza is Elva Redwood, who dreams about bears playing drums in the forest and is in love with the magic behind reality. Alright, she bakes gluten-free cookies with bacon fat. She used to write for a small-town newspaper, had a poem published on the London Underground, and has a story in the Frozen Moment anthology. She is also a counselor and gets stuff about being an artist and about all sorts of trauma. Please welcome Elva Redwood.
Thank you, Jenny. I'm usually making it shorter than you.
She was waiting until you were done taking your picture.
Thank you, and you can thank my friend Nina for the shirt.
Yeah.
And thanks to Jenny, she is a great writer, by the way.
Woo! Jenny!
So, this is part of something I'm exploring for a novel. The working title is Original Sin, but that makes it sound like bad pornography, and hopefully it's not all pornography. So that'll probably go away, but that's the working title. And I kind of feel apologetic that it ends just before the sex scene, but you'll just have to read it when it's done. Those nights I stayed with Liam on the skinny camp bed in the kitchen. We slept in all our clothes. It never felt like it mattered that he was older than me. I was too young to get it. We stayed awake and talked about books and all the strangest things we'd ever seen. Each of us, our own kind of misfit lonely. We tried to reach each other. I wanted to know that when I looked at him and he looked at me, he was really there, another human being. But I could never reach him, not the core of him, what he really felt, and how it was for him to be alive. I didn't know. He was there all the time, just further than I reached for him. He even told me where to look, but he was 24, and I was 17. And I was too young to know I didn't get it. I was the one who kept myself hidden from him. In moments, across our misfit reaching, our mouths came together, his lips soft as the sound of his name, his beard stubble grazed my face, his hand, once or twice, hot over my t-shirt on my breast. I never felt pushed by Liam, not like all the boys I'd known before him. There was a softness to everything he did, a holding, everything about him except his beard stubble. The never dark of London sky pressed itself through the bare window above us. It pasted monochrome across the far wall, the kitchen table, and the telly. When Liam sat up, cotton sleeve elbow right by my head, faint must and nutmeg smell of his sweat, the blank light smoothed his face white and caught in his eyes while he talked. I wouldn't want to live for hundreds of years, Liam said, his jeans knees against mine under the sleeping bag. We were talking about my latest favourite novel. I could if I had money to go where I wanted, I said. Don't you think they suffered from it so? He said. Liam said his soft TH is F and his hard TH is V. Don't you think they suffered from it so? The Cockney sounds were clumsy on his Irish, where I'd expect the T's and D's his brother and all their housemates spoke with. In that way, he did hide himself. I never asked if he did it on purpose. The book, Grimus, was full of all this brilliant dimension travel and what I called punk metaphysics. I loved that book. I loved that book. It blew my mind like mushrooms. It was also racist and elaborately misogynist. I didn't get it. Liam never said he saw those things either, but he couldn't have felt good about Flann O'Toole, the caricature drunk Irishman who was impotent. I was never clear why Liam slept in the kitchen, but when one of the housemates moved back to Ireland, Liam got to have the top front room, and we didn't have to use the camp bed anymore. Half the room, the ceiling sloped down, and the window set into it held yellow gleams of rain in the streetlights. The pale walls were empty, same shade as the thick, fluffed-up duvet on the queen-size bed, same shade as Liam's shirt. Faint, musty nutmeg. The buttons and fabric edge of his shirt down my cheek. I leaned on his chest, just inside the room after the door closed. We held both each other's hands. "I should tell you something," Liam said. Something. The gap between two buttons with my nose, warmer smell of him. "I'm like Flann O'Toole," he said. The pressure of our hands holding, his soft fingers. I don't know if it's because I felt safe with Liam to react without caring what it did to him, or if I was just so young I couldn't know how hurtful it was. I looked up in his eyes, yellow-grey in the streetlight, and I laughed. A big smile, easy laugh. What he meant was he couldn't get it up. The streaked slate blue of his irises, grey. The yellow light curved lines on the surface of his eyes. Between his irises and the surface of his eyes, clear, liquid, transparent. I didn't see it. That was the core of him. The deep inside I'd always tried to reach. How he looked at me and waited for me to stop. His hurt right there, but also he was smiling, because I was smiling. And when I smiled, Liam always smiled back at me. I pulled his hands to my hips and held them there, his arms all down my sides, my face to the line of buttons on his chest. "It's okay," I said. His chin and nose gentle on my head. He breathed into my hair. Thick mound of the duvet against my naked bum and my feet. Grey air cool all over my skin. I knelt on the bed over Liam. Rain on the window ran trails of shadow across his bare arms, white t-shirt and Y fronts. His eyes, liquid, transparent. Only surface tension kept him from flowing away. One tiny move could make him vanish. Water soaked into the bed. It was new for me to be the one in control. Every time before, with those boys who knew what they wanted, they took the lead and I followed, because I didn't know I had a choice. I didn't know I could ask myself what I wanted. My breath, my skin, my heavy insides felt for and did only what the boy wanted. I knew what that was before he knew. That's what I was good at. That's what I was supposed to do. I knelt on the bed over Liam, my tits too young to hang yet, all my skin cool in the yellow-grey air. What I did with him then was only a bit different. I didn't know I could ask what I wanted. I turned him on because I was supposed to, but this time my breath and my flesh didn't follow him. This time I was the leader. My hands on the pillow, each side of Liam's head, tiny rough on my nipples, his t-shirt, my mouth, his mouth, wet, open, his beard stubble spikes on my lip. Liam's hands dry, hot on my waist, musty nutmeg, and sour whiskey. I pushed my hands under his back, fingers between the smooth sheet and the stretch of his t-shirt, the weight of him, muscles tense and relaxed. This is what I was good at. I knew how to turn him on, even if he didn't know what he wanted. But this time, I did it to love him, not to get someone to love me.